Hi Chakits, I have been following you and watching your YouTube channel for years.
I have decided to finally relocate to Las Vegas and want to start a new chapter in my life. I know you're the perfect realtor to help guide me to find my next dream home. I am looking for a modern kitchen, large backyard with a pool and a golf course community.
My name is Chakits Krulsawat with Simply Vegas, a licensed real estate agent out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I help buyers like this all the time, so if you're looking for a licensed professional, give us a call at 702-319-1092 or visit lvhomeexperts.com. Buying a home starts here. Is your credit score holding you back from purchasing a home? GC Credit Coaches is a repair company that's made easy. Their goal is to challenge and remove all negative errors that hurt your credit score. On average, GC clients see about 10.2 negative items removed over 4 months. Start improving your credit score today with a simple 2-minute online enrollment for a free consultation and a complete credit audit. GC Credit Coaches offers competitive monthly pricing, no contracts, no hidden fees, and the service stops once you are satisfied. GC Credit Coaches removes inquiries, collection, and charge-off possessions. Don't forget to visit gccreditcoaches.com.
Attention contractors, remodelers, and homeowners. Is your renovation becoming a pain in the glass? Here at Glass Vegas, we take care of all of your glass needs, from a broken window to custom shower doors, mirrors, winding closures, storefronts, railings, and much more. We can even help you with new or replacement thermally broken windows. We're a full-service, woman-owned glass company that provides unparalleled workmanship, excellent communication, and great customer service. Glass Vegas, we do glass with class.
Does your house look like and have you been considering remodeling your home for some time now? Well, if you love real estate like I do and appreciate the attention to detail in the craftsmanship required to build a remodel or a gorgeous home, then I got the perfect company for you. Guys, I highly recommend Design Zone Remodeling. They are a stellar company that will turn your outdated home into your own. They specialize in bathroom remodels, kitchen house remodels. Design has a reputation for excellent workmanship, competitive fees, and being able to wide range of services, outstanding results to their clients. I use Design Zone Remodeling on my personal properties. Give Design Zone Remodeling a call today at 725-223-71. Site at designzone.com to request today. All right, and welcome live to the LV Home Experts Podcast. This is where we talk about real estate and financing and the Las Vegas housing market. If this is your first time tuning into this channel, my name is Chakits Krulsawat, a licensed real estate agent out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I hang my license with Simply Vegas. So today we're going to be talking about the Las Vegas housing market, kind of give you an update of what's going on from single family homes. We're going to talk about townhomes as well, and also condos, and we're going to talk about what's going on with the Las Vegas market with Courtney with Rio. What's up, man? What's going on with you?
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
No, I do appreciate you coming on out here. Seemed like the video was a little bit choppy.
It did. It seemed like it was skipping.
Yeah, I don't know if it was choppy on your guys' end. Let me know in the comments. I would really appreciate that. Normally it doesn't happen like that, but technology. I mean, that's just how it is, right? It is what it is. But I want to jump right into it because, you know, believe it or not, an hour goes by pretty fast when you are having fun, believe it or not.
This is true.
Now, you first came in here, and this is really our first time really meeting each other. And I can already tell. I feel like we click. We got kind of like the same vibes. Mm-hmm. So I definitely do appreciate that. I can tell you're a good person.
It's true. I am.
So Did you see that fire the other day?
It's funny you mentioned that. I was heading to the gym about 11 o'clock this morning, and it was still smoldering out there. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I see it.
I think I was driving by at 10:30, had an appointment, and yeah, it was still smoking, but it looks like they were starting to tear it down, and I decided to roll down my windows, right, and to do like, you know, some filming for IG and stuff. All that black smoke still came in the car, and I was like worried about, dude, does my clothes smell like burnt wood?
Forget about your clothes, your lungs, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
I never thought of that.
forget, you got dry cleaners. You got to worry about the insides.
Yeah, that's true. I see that they're building a lot of stuff out here, dude. Like, there's so much going on out here in Vegas. It's like unbelievable.
Ridiculous. Have you been out to Tule Springs, to the right, that turnoff going up to Mount Charleston? It's insane. You've got Tri-Point and you've got KB there. I think they're building about 500 units out there. It's nuts.
Well, that's funny that you said that because I was just out there yesterday filming D.R. Horton. It's called Heartland Falls.
Oh, yeah.
And they have an exit that they're finishing off, which is, I think it's called Riviera or Reserves and the 215.
Revere.
Yeah, Revere. That's what it was. And they have a total of like 5 different communities, right?
They do.
Over 1,000 homes. And the price point, I'm looking at this, right? As a matter of fact, I just launched another video today. And this started off at $423,000. It was about 2,400 square feet, 4 bedrooms, and like 1 large additional room, like a movie theater room, which is
upstairs.
Yes.
Yep, I saw it.
And for the price, I'm like, this is actually a good price. Like if you're a family that's just starting off, right? It just makes sense. And I'm about to tell you guys here shortly what the median price point for a home for a detached single family for a resale. Prices have gone up, which is crazy to me. But yeah, going back to Tule Springs, because this is, I'm gonna say this is more of a newer master plan community, would you say?
100%.
Or one of the newest, right?
One of the newest, yep, for sure.
And what else are they building out here? I mean, there's just so much things, right?
So when I say Tule Springs, I wasn't referring. So Heartland's right across from Aliante. I live in
Correct.
Aliante, so it's like right down the street from my house. But Tule, I'm talking about off the 95, right when you're turning to go up to Mount Charleston, where the lodge is.
Oh yeah.
Right there at the base there. It's funny. Like I grew up here. Like to me, that was way out of town. Now it's like not way out of town anymore. I mean, Sky Canyon's just 1 exit away. I mean, it's really the way we've expanded here over the last 15, 20 years is just insane.
I feel like they still need to have like more shopping and you know amenities, because I feel like they just don't have the amenities there. I think they're building more homes faster than the amenities. But I know that because I was looking on the county records, there are some areas of plotted land that is zoned for commercial and stuff like that. But obviously they haven't started yet because nobody has bought the land.
No, and actually the first thing I thought about when I went out to I think it was Talus by KB Homes right there at that exit, and I thought to myself, where's the grocery store? Yeah. And you're right, it's just 1 exit back to the Sky Canyon, that big superstore. But the one thing it is missing is retail, like clothing stores, like a Ross, like things that people use on an everyday basis other than food and groceries and so forth.
I guarantee a super Walmart is going to go out there. 100%. And when you have a super Walmart, these Fortune 500 companies, they all build together. You're going to have a Lowe's, you're going to have a Home Depot, you're going to have a Sam's Club, because that's, how they build. So if you can actually go on the county records and see exactly what is, plotted for that plot, right? You can kind of see where development's taking place. Yep. And if you're an investor, you could probably take advantage of that situation by buying something out there, knowing that something's coming.
Well, that's the whole thing. There's this thing I always say in my videos: dirt equals dollars. If there's dirt and they're building and they haven't finished yet, that's the time to jump in. The prices out there at Tule Springs are, I think they started in the threes, like 380, 392. I think they have a couple of units that are in that price point. That house is going to be worth $500,000 or $600,000 down the road. It just is. Maybe not 600, but it'll be in the fives. Inside of 10 years, if I had my guess.
You know what's crazy is that we listen to the price now, well, especially for me, at the 400, 425, I feel like, that's a pretty good deal from an all-time high of 480,000. But I remember when home price was only like 180. and it's like so hard to compare.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and when I started selling real estate in 2012, I used to do a lot of prospecting. I would literally call people and tell them about 1,800 square foot homes,
Yeah.
$85,000, and they would tell me, I'm going to wait till it comes down.
That's crazy. I remember those days out in North Las Vegas.
Oh,
You could
yeah.
literally look. I didn't have money at that time, but one of my first investment deals, I bought a home for was like $18,000 or $17,000.
Well, I believe it.
But I mean, obviously, I had to put some money into it. But I couldn't believe I bought a home for that much.
I think I saw your video. Is that the one where you had to redo everything and you kind of got stuck a little bit and had to kind of fix it up? And did you lose money on that one?
No, I still own that today, and that was actually my baby.
There you go.
And I put so much money into it at that time.
It's worth 400 plus now.
Yeah,
right?
it's like over 400,
Okay.
which is obviously it's paid off and all that stuff. But at that time, I probably spent like $30,000 more than I should have.
Right.
I'd literally overbuilt this home.
Right.
But all new plumbing, all new electrical. I mean, I opened up the floor plan. It's a nice home, right? In the historic downtown. But yeah, now it's like worth about $4 and some change. But that one I'm just kind of keeping because that actually just pays for my mortgage, right? It's kind of like that house hacking.
Yep.
So I can never let that go. In addition to that, because that's my baby, right? So I'll probably just keep that forever.
It's kind of like that first dollar you make, you put on your wall, kind of that kind of thing. It's like your trophy. That's where you learned a lot of the things that you use today.
Talking about that the other day, I was just reminiscing. I wrote myself a check, and this was probably about 15 years ago, where I would never fathom, right, making the kind of money that I'd made today. And I wrote myself a check for $1 million. And I always had that check in my wallet because I used to always carry a wallet. And the other day I was like going through the whole house trying to find that. And I remember that check was so worn out in my wallet.
Yeah.
But the reason why I want that, and I was digging through the whole house, is because I actually want to put that on a plaque.
Right.
So that way I could always look at it and be like, yeah, see,
That's
I
where
did
it
it.
all started. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's big where you have, mentally, you write it down, you're telling yourself, because this stuff does come true, man. Fruition.
It does. Well, listen, dreams come true with action. Right?
Yeah.
Don't forget the second part. Listen,
because it ain't easy.
Secret, It's not easy. You're right.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, I want to talk a little bit about you because I want my audience to get to know you. Obviously, you're on YouTube as well.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been doing YouTube?
So I think I did a couple of videos maybe 5 years ago. Maybe not even that long, maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But when the pandemic hit, it's kind of the perfect storm. So I just gotten hooked up with a gentleman named Steve Sims. He's a coach. He's a speaker, all that. I met him through John, actually. John had done a video. And he was doing an event, and he was going to be a speaker. So I hook up with this guy. I go out to one of his events out in San Francisco. He starts talking about social media and the power of video. So then the pandemic hits. And so for a little while, we couldn't do open houses. There's so many things we couldn't do. And so people weren't going out to look for homes. So I went to Costco, got myself a GoPro, and I just started shooting these videos, and they were terrible. And it's funny, I think the first or second one I posted, one of the people commented and said, "Hey, get with Chakits on how to do a home tour." I was so pissed. But I have to laugh. I mean, I can't get mad. You watched it. Why am I mad, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, so that's kind of where the progression started. And then from there, at one point, I was doing 2 to 3 videos a week on top of keeping up with my IG and my Facebook.
Okay. And you've been selling real estate now for what, 12 years?
It'll be 12 years in February.
Okay. And obviously you're a full-time agent.
I am a full-time agent. I started in 2011. Yeah. And every day.
Okay. And what kind of buyers do you currently work with? Obviously you work with sellers too, but I want to start off with the buyers.
Buyers, so every walk of life, I do a lot of VA. I do a lot of relo. The thing about YouTube, funny thing about YouTube is you get a lot of relocation people that are just just trying to figure out how the town is. And YouTube's a great vehicle for trying to give them a taste of what they can expect out here. Because a lot of people come from places they don't know we have small yards. They don't know that we have, very tight spaces. They don't know that the privacy can sometimes be an issue, especially you think about, they think Summerlin's the place to go, usually. Summerlin or Green Valley. Typically Summerlin, and then I show them Summerlin, and they're mad that their neighbor's this close to them, right?
Yeah.
So then I pull them out to the northwest, and then they see things are a little bit bigger. They've got a 1/4 acre lot, 1/2 acre lot, that kind of thing. So as far as buyers, I mean, I've done everything. I did a couple of nice high-rise deals over, south of $1 million last year. I'll do anything with a parcel number is my thing.
Okay, so it doesn't really matter what price point, but majority of your buyers are out of state. Then you're saying.
No, I wouldn't say the majority, but I'd say that I'm targeting them because the thing about now-time buyers is that they're focused.
Yeah.
I don't have to convince them. I don't have to call them multiple times. They've got to move, and they have a job to do when they get here. I get them in the car, day and a half, 2 days, sometimes a couple of hours, quite frankly, and we get it done because they're motivated and they're focused. People in town tend to, sometimes drag their feet, and you kind of have to sometimes convince them. And, it just depends on the circumstance.
Now, you mentioned Summerlin. A lot of buyers will always say Summerlin. Why do you think that is?
Because Summerlin is the #1 master plan in the United States, I think it is, yeah.
Okay.
Or it's at least in the top couple. It's just very popular, and for a good reason. The infrastructure is great. There's beautiful homes there. It's the shiny... the shiny little object in Las Vegas as far as residential.
What's crazy is I've never been interested in Summerlin whatsoever. I just don't I don't like the suburbs. I'm more of a city guy, and that's one thing that I always explain to the client, especially the buyers from out of state.
Sure.
You're not only buying the house, right? You're buying the neighborhood.
Right.
You're buying the community. Mm-hmm. You're buying the whole atmosphere.
Yep.
Right? Because you always got to think about this when you drive to work or if you're, driving to the grocery store, right? What grocery store are you going to?
Right.
What type of food you like? There's clients where, believe it or not, I got to be next to a Sprouts.
Right.
Which is kind of crazy to me. I think there are only 2 Sprouts here in Henderson.
No. Well, it may be in Henderson.
Yeah, in Henderson.
Yeah, but there's one down the street from it. Listen, Sprouts is the truth. Smith's does not get a lot of love from me anymore since Sprouts popped up by my house.
Really?
I love Sprouts. Yeah. The only thing I don't like about Sprouts is now they're charging you 10 cents a bag, which is annoying.
Well, you got to bring your own bag.
I know.
That's how it goes.
But dude, I always forget. We're on the road. I'm on
Leave
the
it in your car, bro.
I know.
And another one is like Whole Foods,
yeah.
right? Also, another thing I've noticed is that schools are very important.
For sure.
Even though that our school ratings are not that high.
They're not.
Right? But obviously, they want to be in a great school zone. So when somebody calls you and says, hey, I want to be in a good school zone, how do you, answer that question? Because as an agent, you don't want to steer a client and say, this is a great school, and it's not a good school, right?
Well, yeah, so that it goes back to asking really good questions.
Yeah.
How old are your kids? Bob Miller's is a super popular school if you're in Henderson.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're in Summerlin and you've got high school age kids, Palo Verde would be would be the one that people are targeting. So it just depends on each individual person's situation. But you make a good point. Our schools don't have great ratings.
Yeah.
They don't, and that's something we need to actually fix.
But there is a lot of charter and private schools out here as well.
100%. Yep. And that's why I see a lot of people kind of floating that way.
Now,
and homeschool too.
Say again?
Homeschool as well.
Oh, that's true.
Lots of homeschooling.
Now, I want to get your perspective, okay? Your honest opinion. What's going on in the market? Because I get calls, hey, man, I heard the housing market's dropping. I want to write an offer like $50,000 to $100,000 below because Las Vegas is tanking.
It's funny. So it's multifaceted. So there are neighborhoods here that have never gone down. There are neighborhoods here that will always have multiple offers. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So it really kind of depends on the zip code. It depends on the neighborhood specifically. Summerlin's never going to be really a place that's going to suffer. Green Valley is always going to be popular just because that's what they are, right? The Northwest, I think, is becoming a lot more popular because there's a lot more dirt out there, more opportunity for equity growth. I think that it just depends on your lifestyle. It depends on where you're working. A lot of people are working from home more so than before, even now. I think it's more socially acceptable to say you work from home, and companies are realizing that they can save some dollars by not having a storefront. So, I think it depends on the lifestyle. I think it depends on who you are as a person and what's important to you.
Now, do you think the market is tanking, increasing? Kind of give us a
I think
perspective,
it's-
like what's going on, like right now with your buyers as you're going out showing some homes.
So in some neighborhoods, we're seeing the ability to kind of push the limits. For example, I had a client that I sold out in Providence last month. We were able to get the house below market value with closing costs that my client did not need because we asked the question. So you can do that. Now, Providence is a great neighborhood. It's a safe neighborhood. It's a clean neighborhood. It's a relatively new neighborhood.
Yeah.
But say you take that same person, you go down to the north side of town and you go, say, North Las Vegas. There are parts of North Las Vegas that are great and thriving. There are other parts that aren't so great.
Yeah.
So in answer to which way the market's going, I think it depends on the part of town you're talking about. I don't think there's one straight answer for that. I'll say this, people are waiting for those prices to drop, and we're just not seeing that. We're seeing it kind of stagnant. Well, I don't see any huge dips. But that being said, I think that the ability to negotiate a good deal is much better than it was, for sure.
Now, I can tell you, I've been taking out buyers and taking on listings. And one of my past listings I just listed, within 24 hours, I had about 4 offers.
Okay.
And I have offers above the asking price. Okay, because of the location. It's just right off the 215 and Stephanie.
Okay.
Okay. Then the other day, I showed a home that was at $1,050,000, and it was a nice home, right? Just right next to Horizon Ridge and Eastern.
Okay.
Had a pool, everything had all the bells and whistles. Gorgeous home. And we wrote an offer right away. We paid our own closing costs, and the seller came back and said, we got multiple offers. I'm like, multiple offers at $1,050,000?
Yep.
So I was like, oh, okay, that didn't work. So we lost that deal. Luckily enough, there was another home right next door, right? And just popped up. We had to offer $20,000 more to get the home, and we got the home.
Right.
But the buyers really wanted the home, and they understand what's going on with the market, because I work with clients, right, especially from out of state when they come for the first time. We're looking at homes, writing up offers, and I'll sit down. We'll do a full buyer consultation. I explain what's going on right now, because this is important.
For sure.
It wasn't 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. That doesn't exist. It's right now.
Right.
And I'll have these conversations, and at this point, we go out, we start writing offers, and we start getting rejected. And then they start learning real quick. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because the agent that you guys are working with, it's very important that you listen to your agent, because you're going to come across a home that you really fall in love with, right? And you think sometimes you can get a deal, and if your agent says no, you got to write higher to get this deal done. You got to listen to your agent, because what happens is once you lose that home, the whole morale just drops.
Yep.
And you're constantly comparing that home.
Yep.
But also it's a learning lesson.
For sure.
But sometimes deep down inside, I'm like, I told you. You should have
Honestly,
listened to me.
A lot of the time, Daryl is funny. Our mutual friend Daryl always says, sometimes you got to let them lose one.
Yeah.
For them to understand, because you're 100% right. They see on news that from a national standpoint, this is what Las Vegas looks like.
Yeah.
Or whatever town you're talking about. So they come there with that idea in their mind, and they need to understand that the local market's a little bit different, especially Las Vegas. It's, like I was saying before, every neighborhood, there are some neighborhoods that we haven't seen no change at all. I mean, they're just always going to be strong, because that's where everybody wants to be. So I to your point, you're 100% right. You can never assume. Same with days on market. Days on market is not a great indicator of your ability to grab the home sometimes. Because
no, it's
guess
not.
what? It might say 120 days, but somebody might have been there yesterday.
And not only that, you may look at a home, right? It's 120 days.
Yep.
But you may not know that they just did a price reduction, because sometimes sellers will start it off a little bit higher. After 30 days, they start to do a price reduction to the point where it starts to make sense.
Right.
Once it starts to make sense, and if there's no other home in that neighborhood, it could go like this, and then you get multiple offers.
For sure.
So again, you got to listen to your real estate agent. Now, I just want to give you guys a quick update. The median price point for a home right now across the board for a detached single family is $450,000. Remember, we talked about it all-time high at $480,000. It all dropped all the way down to $420,000. But now we are creeping back up, $450,000.
It was $443 last month.
Yes. So things are moving. But I pull my data not on a basis of 30 days. I always do 7 days.
Of course.
The reason why I do this is because I want, like, right now, what's going on.
Right.
Average days in the market is 17 days. Okay. The medium price point for price per square foot is $243 a square foot. What can you get? 1,900 square feet home, 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Okay. The supply. Okay. We only have 8 weeks of supply. 8 weeks. That is so low.
Right. It's
Now,
nothing.
at 450,000, things are just moving so fast. And I think the reason why at 450,000 is moving so fast is because a lot of consumers, they don't really worry about the price, right? What they worry about is what their monthly payment is, especially where rates are at today,
Correct.
right? That's the reason why we're at the 450. And that's why you have buyers at that 450, right? And that's where that really competitive market, that's where all your pools of buyers. Are you starting to see that as well, or?
100%. And you're right about the monthly payment thing. Most people care about what their out is every month.
Yeah.
They're more concerned with that, especially when you have kids and you have to be conscious of your budget. It's important that they, which is why people don't understand that the rate is actually more important than the price of the home. You know, when we were at 2.9, you know, back in 2020, our average was 2.96%. You know, the buying power there was phenomenally different than it is today.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of those homes that are in the 400s right now, those people were buying at 550 and 600 a few years ago because they could. They can't now.
And you know what's crazy? Interest rates, right? Where we went from like 3.2 all the way up to like 6.5, everything kind of came to a halt a little bit, right?
Right.
Now,
Real fast, too.
yeah, real fast. But now it's almost like psychologically, people got used to the 6.5, 6.25, whatever it is, right? And now they're out buying a home, but they're just not buying at a higher price point. But now they're just realizing, you know what, maybe I should just buy.
Well, the truth is you need to buy at what you can afford.
Yeah.
I mean, that's at the end of the day, because the truth is 5 years from now, as long as you're going to be in that home for 5 years, if you're going to be in that home for at least 5 years, it's very difficult to make the wrong choice.
And how do you come up with that 5 years?
That's typically homes churn over in our town at least every 5 years. So it's enough time for you to safeguard your equity and have some growth there without, you know, the ups and downs here. We're very volatile. We're probably the most volatile market in the country.
I would say so because, you know, we're in a city that has to do with tourism. You know, people are constantly coming and going. I've got people that bought homes here, you know, a couple years ago. Now they're like, hey, I want to leave. But what's crazy is I can't believe how many people are moving here every single month. I mean, I think we're about like 7,500 people a month now.
Well, there's reasons why.
I mean, there's so much. Yeah. I mean, I didn't really think the Raiders would impact people moving here, but that's not the reason why people are moving here, but it's just one of those additional things.
Right.
Right.
Right. It's
hockey, same thing. It's just like
Yep.
people are starting to see, okay, this city's growing. And this is like one of the newest metropolitan areas throughout the United States. And I think there's like 250. And if you take a look at it, all of them, the cost of living here is still reasonable, believe it or not.
No corporate tax, no state income tax. And just look at the larger things. Aside from the sports teams, that's a given.
Yeah.
We've upped our game in restaurants. We've upped our game in we're in the entertainment town anyway. But look at the studios they're talking about bringing here. That's going to bring a ton of jobs. People move for jobs. Yeah. You know, and we've got the land to do it. We've got the ability to do F1. You know, all these different things are just adding to the reasons why it makes sense. It makes good financial sense. I think the reason people sit in California, sometimes some of those people just can flat out afford it and don't care. Yeah. Some people love the water. There's many reasons why people stay in California, but some of them are just seeing that you can still have those things. You're not that far. We're 3.5 hours away. Why wouldn't you come here and have a better quality of life and then hit your weekends, you know, and down in Newport if you want to? You know what I mean?
And it's not like a 4-hour drive, 4.5 hours.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, what advice do you have for like buyers right now that are just getting in the market and they're just getting started?
My advice is always the same. Do your homework, ask really good questions, make sure that you get a quality agent. What I typically do when someone's coming in from out, if we're talking out of town buyers and people that are new to the city, I like to throw them in my car and do a full tour. I pick them up from wherever they are. I go all the way out to Lake Las Vegas. I don't care if they're interested in it or not. I want them to understand how far things are. I want to see the cadences over here, and it might make sense for you, but it may not if you work at the base. and that's a commute that's going to drive you nuts. So it's good to know the overall picture, and then you can make an informed decision. Same thing, with the people that love Summerlin so much, because that's what they've heard. That's what they know. They don't know that, the 215 is right there. You can be in Summerlin in 8 minutes from, and in 215. They don't know that yet. You have to show them, physically let them see it for themselves.
Now, would you say buying a new home is better than a resale right now?
Yeah, I would say a few months ago, I was knocking some really good new home sales.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to get rid of that inventory. And I'm on my YouTube and my Facebook, and I'm begging people, listen, I got physical, and I saw you doing it too. I have a list right here.
Yeah.
80 homes for one builder, 96 homes for this builder. I closed one a month and a half ago. They gave us the car charger, upgraded cabinets, patio cover, washer and dryer, and it's not Lennar. It was Century Communities.
They just giving it away.
They weren't giving it away, but these are publicly traded companies. They got to get that stuff off their books.
Yeah.
They can't let it sit there. So those are those opportunities. I think the problem that most people have is that they are so afraid that they're being taken advantage of, they can't see the opportunity.
Yeah.
If I'm telling you that this is a good deal, but it's going to go away, it's already done. Most of the standing inventory in our town is gone.
Yeah.
There are some quick move-in homes that are they're going to be able to be delivered in a few months, but the days of going in there and they're just like, yes, please take these off our hands, that's over.
Now, would you say building a home is better than buying a resale home?
No, I don't. I think everybody's different. I have some clients that can't fathom living in a home someone else is living.
Yeah,
in.
no, that's kind of crazy to me.
Right, but resale, obviously, you're always going to be in a better situation with a resale, because especially if you want like a pool or you want RV parking, if that stuff's already built into the home when you buy it. Of course, it's a better deal. But like I said, some people don't care about that. Some people want to build that home and put what they want in that home, and they don't want to do a remodel. They want to walk in and have it done and nice and clean. Again, it's a personal preference in my opinion.
And are you seeing any type of concessions right now for the buyers?
Yeah, still, yeah. In fact, I was just out at Sunstone. They've got a couple of homes there that I think one can be delivered next month, another one in a couple of months.
Yeah.
They're offering incentives, $10,000, 4.9, I think, interest on a couple of their homes. Yeah, we're still seeing stuff, but it's not the crazy amounts. Like, make us an offer is what the verbiage was in March and April. Literally, you can offer on a new home and potentially get it for $100,000 discounted. It happened.
Now, I noticed, like, on the resale, like, the price per square foot is a lot cheaper, right?
For sure.
And there are some benefits on the resale, but then if you look on the new home side, right, you get a buy down interest rate. If you went on a resale, you won't be able to do that because you would have to be paying your own points. And not only that, right now the sellers are not really contributing.
They were,
that much.
though.
Yeah, they were, but
not. There was a few months ago. They were literally writing into the listing. If all offers, the seller willing to give $10,000 in concessions, and people just weren't jumping on it. It was kind of sad. And I did a video about that too, and I talked about the fact that you can either do this now, and you can get what you can get, and possibly refinance in the future, which the rate is a temporary thing. We all know that. Or you can wait until the interest rate goes down, and you can try to save up enough money. I don't know about you, but I was getting rejected with $80,000 over, $100,000 over back in 2021 and 2022.
Oh, trust me,
Often,
I know.
Often.
And also, I noticed a lot of lenders. I don't see this anymore. The 3-2-1 buy down. I don't really see that too much.
Yeah, I mean, it was being pushed a lot in the beginning, and I'm still hearing them now. We have an in-house mortgage company that our team uses, and it was something we were pushing a lot, but I'm not hearing as much anymore either.
And it like you said earlier, that this market is so volatile, right? And like every 7 days, the market changes, and you always have to adapt with the market, and you have to understand what's going on.
For sure.
So that way your buyers know how to put this deal together.
Yep.
And I think this is important, especially if you're working with a new agent. They're not going to have the resources.
Or a part-time agent.
Yeah.
Your nephew that works at Starbucks and that has a license on the side, and that's no knock on someone having a side hustle.
Yeah.
But if you're not in this all the time, the perspective isn't the same.
You're absolutely right, because you're not going to know the ins and outs.
You're not.
And I don't know everything. And as I go through one transaction, I may learn something for the next transaction.
Still now, after
Yes.
15 years you've been doing this, right?
13 years.
13 years, yeah. And you still find something
Like
new
I
every
literally
day.
just learned something my last transaction, and it was just, I couldn't believe it. But because a transaction, the fundamentals are the same.
Right.
But no deals are alike.
Nope.
All different.
Yep.
And it's crazy. And the more deals that you have under your belt, the more experience you have. And it's not to knock the new agents out there, because you can be a new agent and you can go out and you can do a deal. But sometimes you may be in a situation where as agents, we have to solve and resolve the problem. And how many tools do we have in our belt? How many resources that we have, and how do we actually put the deal together? Because deals can fall apart all the time. Trust me, it happens, okay? And I don't like to waste time, so I don't want deals falling apart. So that's why, again, work with somebody that knows what they're doing. Okay. Now I want to move on to the selling side, okay? Because obviously you work with some sellers as well.
I do.
Okay.
My business is about 50-50.
50-50?
Yep.
Okay. Now on the selling side, if somebody decides that they're ready to list their home in today's market, how do you prep them? Like, what do you kind of walk me through that process?
So a couple things. So condition of the home is always big.
Yeah.
No matter what the market is, put your best foot forward. And that's when you know whether you have a good agent or not. A good agent's going to tell you, clean your house. A good agent's going to tell you, you need to paint that. You need to make sure that you even in a situation where you know you're going to get 10 or 15 offers, you've got to make sure that you're doing the best you can to present the best product to the consumer, number one. Number two, in our environment right now, you are going to probably have to give some. Depending on where you are, depending on what part of town you are, or what type of product we're talking about, be it a condo or a newer home or whatever the situation is. If you have a pool or an RV, you're probably in a better position. Not probably, you just are. No matter what the market is. The things that Las Vegas loves are single stories, RV parking, and pools. You got that, you're already ahead of the game.
Now, would you suggest to the seller to price the home a little bit higher?
I would not.
Okay. Why is that?
Most of the time, so here's the thing. Price...
Because you know sellers, and me included, every time I try to sell a property, I always want more money.
More,
that's me, including me. I'm being honest with you guys.
I've always thought that pricing your home as close to value, whether it's busy or not, is the right thing to do. Because if it's priced where it's supposed to be, they're going to come. And they're going to overbid. You're not going to have to convince them to give you an extra 20 or 30,000.
Yeah.
It's just going to happen. So be smart about that. If you get crazy right off the bat, and most of the time, if a seller of mine wants to price it higher than I'd like, then typically what I will do is write into the listing, we'll review this in 10 days. If for some reason we don't have the traffic that we thought, then we're going to make an adjustment. I literally put that in the remarks on the contract because I think it's important.
Also, there's pros and cons because, when I do this as well, I also explain to the seller, we can play this game. But also, when you see more days on the market, people think there's something wrong with the home.
They do.
And then buyers are going to chomp you, right, at the feet. And they're going to ask for a steep discount.
Yep.
Right? Or you can price it correctly, and then it could actually move, at fair market value or even higher. So it really just depends, right?
The perception is powerful. You're right.
No,
about
it really is.
You're right about that days on market thing. And
I don't know why though, but it is.
And it was really bad when we first saw that dip. What was it? Maybe September or August, right around there. Man, I had a few listings that were just sitting, and I know they would have normally moved. And my sellers were a little stubborn. You have to put out the right message, making reductions at the right time. And they don't have to be humongous reductions, but if you're consistently making reductions, it says to the buyers, "Oh, they're serious. They might be higher than what I want it to be, but if I see they've made a couple of reductions, this guy does want to move. So maybe I'm not afraid of that house." You get what I mean?
Yeah. So what happens if somebody wants to sell their home in today's market, and you advise them to make some of these repairs, but they can't make the repairs because they just don't have the money, right?
So it depends. I would say
what is like a strategy?
So it depends on what's wrong with the house. If it's something that's like the AC's about to go, or they need a water, things like that. That's something we're going to have to make an adjustment on the price.
Okay.
Price is going to have to match the situation. If it's something like cleaning, put some jeans on and help them.
You'll actually do that? I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it.
Well,
I ain't doing it. I appreciate your honesty.
It's true. It's true.
When I first started, I used to dig ditches, right? And put the signs myself because I was so dead broke, but I just wanted to sell a house and become an agent so bad.
Listen, Michael Hutchins, he had me out at Southern Highlands digging holes for poles for sale signs.
That's what I was doing.
And I did it gladly because I was like, okay, I'm doing real estate. I was just happy to do it, But no, I'm not in there. I'm not even handy. But if it's something that I can handle to help
you
them,
help them.
if I can grab a blower and blow out the front yard, I'm going to do that. You know, I'm not going to build your house. I'm not going to paint your house, but I'm going to make it as presentable as I possibly can. Yes.
Okay. Now, I want to go back to the buyers for a second here. Okay. A lot of these buyers, like I mentioned before, they think they can get like the best discount on a home. And I don't want to say the word convince, right? How do you actually explain to them like what is really going on? Because there's some clients out there that just don't get it and they want to do things their way.
No, I've actually got one right now. He's trying to get approved through his own bank.
What's his name? No, I'm just kidding.
No, he's trying to get approved through his own bank. We're texting back and forth. He's answering me, but he is being stubborn about me saying, hey, man, I've got a couple of lenders. You need to talk to them. These are the guys that are gonna help you. Bank of America, they're not as nimble. You know, we know big bucks banks don't tend to be as nimble as a mortgage broker. But in answer to your question, I just lost my train of thought. What was your original question?
I don't know. I just lost my train of thought. No, okay. So working with a tough buyer, because you know how like as agents we have to educate the buyers.
Oh, right.
And we have
how do
some
I
buyers.
convince
Yeah.
them that,
Not convinced. We don't want to say convinced because that's a horrible word.
Yeah.
How do we educate them? Because, and you guys know what I'm talking about. Some of you guys out there with the strong personality, that A personality, just I want to do it my way. You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, a part of it is like we talked about before. Sometimes you got to let them lose one. They have to learn that way. Number two, you can just show them the data. You can show them these are the number of days on market. This is when these homes are typically selling in that neighborhood. There's a lot of different things you could do. It just depends on the situation. Some people, it doesn't matter what you say. You know, you're just gonna have to be in it for the long haul. I mean, education's the number one thing.
I think you just made a good point. I think by showing data and data, you know, to the client, you know, the average days on the market in the neighborhood, this is what's selling. The home that you like, this is what the conditions are. I've already spoken to the agent, okay? They already have, you know, multiple offers. There was tons of showings today, okay? You're like the 8th person. So it's, do you want this home?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Now, would you advise to like write multiple offers?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
Since day one. Because when I started, it was 74% distressed properties in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
A lot of short sales. We always wrote multiple offers. I wrote more offers probably in the first 3 years of selling real estate than I have in the last 2 or 3 years, easily. Just because it was just the norm. Because you didn't know which ones were going to pop and they cancel all the time. It was a mess, which is why it's so much easier today. When you're in that environment, it was rough. I think it took me maybe 4 or 5 months to get my first check because it just took that long for a short sale. Some short sales took 9-10 months, a year.
I know. I remember those days.
It was rough. It really was.
What are some of the newer neighborhoods that these buyers need to be looking out for?
I'm a big fan of the Northwest. I love.
Damn,
the
you're really
Northwest.
pushing it.
I
huh?
do.
You don't live out there, do you?
I'm in Aliante, so I'm not far from there.
You're north.
But yeah, I am. I'm north, but I'm not northwest. But I'll tell you, man, it's a no-brainer. And if you look on my channel, I did a video about the Northwest.
What's your channel? Real quick?
Courtney Sells Las Vegas.
Courtney Sells Las Vegas, guys. Check it out. I'll have a link in the description below.
Yeah, so I did a video about the Northwest End because it was so obvious because there's a ton of custom homes.
Yeah.
You've got D.R. Horton building out there. You have Pulte building out there. You have everybody's out there. They're out there for a reason. They're out there.
They know something we don't know.
Well, they know that there's not that much land in Las Vegas. we're in a valley, and we're hitting the mountains here pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to build where the opportunities are. And I think that there's a big opportunity. And on top of that, you've got Sky Hills that's just open there. You've got Sky Canyon. You've got, what's the other one? Tule Springs. There's a ton of master plans out there, and they're all in the Northwest. Why wouldn't you build where you can buy a home and there's plots of land on either side of you? They're going to build homes on them. They could be $2 or $3 million homes. And that's going to bring your neighborhood up because people like to be around that kind of thing. It really just makes sense.
Do you think a lot of people nowadays like to be conformed to like communities and master plans? Because I don't really see too many clients now complaining about like non-HOAs, like because a lot of these homes that don't have an HOAs, I don't want to say it's not in a great area because that's the wrong word. It's just not as like conformed or more desirable.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I'd say I think people are a little bit less funky, for lack of a better word, about HOAs than they used to be, because they understand.
Yeah.
The HOA, man, keeps your values. They do. You might be mad at, the fact that you have to get your trash can off the street quickly, but at the end of the day, you want the most out of your home, and you want to come home to something that looks good. You don't want your neighbor having a pink house. You don't want, broken down cars that aren't registered in front of the home. You just don't. Nobody does. Another reason, like I said, the Northwest has got a very diverse amount of product. They've got $1 million custom homes. My buddy Landon Miller's building a lot of these little cul-de-sacs.
Yeah.
With like 10 homes on them. 1.1, 1.2.
Wait, he's your buddy?
Well, we've done a couple deals together. I like him. He's a good dude. He was on my podcast.
Oh, what? You gotta hook me up with him. I seen some of his homes.
They're nice.
No, they are.
They're really nice. Really nice. Yeah, I sold one to a TikTok kid.
Oh, really? A TikTok kid.
26 years old, dude.
Oh, how many followers does he have? Millions.
I don't even understand how he does it. But he's buying a $1.5 million home.
Dude, you need to tap into his brain and figure out what he's doing.
Listen, they're different. I'm 51 years old.
Oh, you are?
I am. Yeah. So,
damn, you don't even look 51.
Sure I do.
I'm just trying to be nice, bro. No, honestly, you look like you're late 40s, not 51 though.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, I don't understand the kids, man. So I don't get it.
Okay.
I actually asked him to help me with my YouTube channel. He's like, just find someone that's doing it and copy him. I'm like, I'm already doing that. Chakits.
No, I want to follow you. I'm trying to follow you, bro.
Right.
Get the hint?
Yep.
Gated versus non-gated communities. Is it safe to be in a non-gated community? I want to be in a gated community. These are questions I always get asked.
The gate doesn't keep crime out. The gate doesn't keep riffraff out. I think the neighborhood is more important than worrying about a gate.
Really?
I do.
Because I get that question asked all the time. But it just seems like if somebody wants to follow you, just follow you right in.
They're going, how hard is it?
Yeah.
I can get in any neighborhood I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to go, people don't break into people with, they don't have anything. They're going to go where there's things to take, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
But it is harder to get into a guard-gated community.
Now, that's where the difference comes
Yes.
Yes.
And I think that's important.
Is a different thing. You're right. You're right about that.
Okay. Now, I want to talk about Summerlin, because Summerlin has all these different type of like villages, right? Or village.
Yep.
And I think they have, 23, 26? I forget the number. It keeps growing, right?
It does.
And they're constantly building. So it looks like from the 215 in Cheyenne, where Reverence is.
Yep.
And what is that one exit? I just lost my train of thought.
That's
it's not Charleston.
Lake Mead, that Kestrel.
Yeah, so it looks
village.
like they're literally just building all that, which is crazy. And home pricing up in Summerlin, right? The price per square foot is about like $280 a square foot. I think Henderson right now is like $260 a square foot. And why is like Summerlin so much higher for the price per square foot versus the city of Henderson? And there are two different things here. We're talking about a master plan community versus the city of Henderson, because I remember the city of Henderson was one of the most desirable places to move, especially like if you're a retiree, right? But it seems like everybody's flocking up into the Summerlin area.
Because there's land still to build there. Tell me where there's land in Green Valley.
That's true. You know what? That's probably a good point. And
that's the only point.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And the homes out here, they're built from like 1980s, right? On the north side of the 215. Then you get more of a newer on the on the south side of the 215. It gets from like 2000 and up. But the pricing is just going like outrageous, especially up here in McDonald Highlands, the Sky, and all that. And that's kind of like what you're pretty much limited to at this point.
You are.
So now you're kind of forced to go out to Inspirata or Cadence. But I want to talk about Cadence because that's another master plan community in the city of Henderson. What are your thoughts about that community, that master plan?
Cadence, how do I say this? It's not my favorite.
Okay. And this is just your opinion, and that's all this is. Yes.
Opinion. It's not my favorite, and I'll say the pricing's great, but it's just so far away from my lifestyle. It's far away from the things that I like to do. And you got to remember, so I grew up here. I've been here for 40 years. So there's two kinds of people when I was growing up. Henderson people and West Las Vegas people. Seriously.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
wow.
When you grow up here, you're either a Henderson or you're not, or you're in west part of
oh, wow.
or not. It's true. I went to Bonanza High School. I remember when the Lakes was built, when it was brand new, and that's just home. You know what I mean? So that's why certain people are gravitating here and others gravitate there, in my opinion. You know? But as far as Inspirada now, I like Inspirada. I like the communalness of it. You know, the walking paths and the parks for the kids. It's a cool place for a family. It really is.
Now, for me, my perspective is that Cadence is great, right? If you want to be in the city of Henderson, what you get for the money is there.
Right.
The downfall for me is that Cadence, where it's located, I feel like it's more of an industrial area you have to drive through, and it's an older type of neighborhood or a older commute that you have to go through to get into this new master plan community.
That's right.
But once you're in there, it's great.
Right.
But as far as for the price point, it's a great price point.
It is.
So I feel like if you are a family that is just getting started and you want to be in the city of Henderson, that's something I definitely would target.
For sure.
Now, Inspirada, right? You can buy the exact same home, but you're paying a lot more money because of the lifestyle and the atmosphere.
And the surroundings. You make a very good point about the surroundings. The difference with Cadence, you have to drive out of the older part of Henderson to get there. If you hop off the 215 at Summerlin, you know you're there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful palm trees and parks and the Golden Knight stuff everywhere. And downtown Summerlin's right there. Same with Green Valley. You hop off Valley Verde, it feels
you're
like
there.
Yeah, man. You don't have to.
You don't have to go off the beaten path a little bit. So that's what it is.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Now, I kind of feel like that a little bit with Inspirada because it's kind of tucked away in the back, but they are building a bunch of exits to Las Vegas Boulevard now, and they're working on phase 2, and they're growing so rapidly. I feel eventually in the next 10 to 15 years, this will be the next Summerlin. It won't be Summerlin, but it would be just right next to Summerlin, right? Because, you have the 15 just right there. You have St. Rose as well, all the shopping and, all that stuff right down there. But the only thing that they are missing right now is that they need to build more grocery stores and shopping centers, which is it's already planned out.
Yep.
But I think we're still another 10, 15 years out, man.
But that's goes back to the original point of get it now while you can, because other people are looking at the infrastructure saying it's lacking.
Yeah.
Just like Cadence is a perfect example. They've got that Super Smiths out there.
Yeah.
For as long as I can remember, the only grocery store that was out there was at Raggedy Albertsons right there on the corner.
Raggedy Albertsons.
Because it was.
Okay.
I mean,
you go to Sprouts. I could tell.
Yeah. Well, no. That thing's been there since I was in high school, dude. Like, we used to go fishing out of the lake.
Oh, really?
We would stop there and get our anchovies.
Oh,
that
wow.
thing is old as hell.
Dude, so you know this town in the back of your
I
head.
know this town very well. I do.
Wow.
I love it here.
Wow, that's interesting. So I remember when I first came out here, just right off of like Silverado Ranch and Las Vegas Boulevard, I used to drive down there right next to the South Point. It was all dirt.
Yeah.
Like, that's how crazy it
It's
was.
a trip, right?
Yes.
You almost can't even imagine how it used to look.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, I wish in my, early 20s, I would have gotten into real estate and bought some shit out here, dude, honestly.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But, I've been out here for about like 22 years now. And this city has grown like double since I've been out here. And there's still room to grow.
There is.
And there's so much potential. So I would say, like, if you're an investor, this is probably like one of the places that I would actually take a look at as far as investing.
100%.
However, as you know, we talked about this. I'm trying to buy an apartment complex. The numbers don't work out for me. It still doesn't work out. I think it's overpriced within that sector.
Yep.
But I'm also starting to see some single-family residents. It's really starting to pique my interest because you can actually get a pretty decent home for $400,000.
Yeah.
But the only thing that's killing me right now, I wouldn't pay $400,000 cash, right? Because the returns are low. And as an investor, you never really want to use your own money. You want to leverage out your money. So, with investing, like I said, other people's money, if I use the bank's money, rates are still a little bit too high.
The rate kills it.
So that's where it kind of kills me.
Right.
But
it only makes sense if you're going to live there.
yes. And that is it. Now, what other master plan communities that we didn't cover? We talked about Tule Springs a little bit. What else?
We got Valley Vista over there, right there by the DMV.
I don't really feel like that's a big master plan. I just feel like it's one big neighborhood or one big community.
Dude, it's huge. There's 1,200 homes there.
Yeah, but D.R. Horton is building 1,100 homes in the master plan community. I mean, in the master plan community of Tule Springs.
Right.
But I'm just saying, I feel like it's just not enough to be considered a master plan community.
You know what's funny? It's the definition of master plan community has gotten skewed, I think, over the last couple of years.
Yes, it has.
A master plan community is your grocery store, your homes, of
yes,
course, but also the infrastructure, your grocery stores, your schools, all the things that you need to live your life.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't feel that vibe, but if I go up to Summerlin, it feels like a master plan community because as soon as I pass 215 in Charleston heading down east, I look at like, the Costco's, I look at the McDonald's, like all the exterior looks the same for the zoning.
Right.
Like everything's like all color chromatic. It all just like matches together, right?
Yep.
And that, for me, that's a master plan community.
For sure. Aliante. I live in Aliante personally. Same thing. I love Aliante because we've got our Costco, we've got our Super Walmart, we've got Target, we've got not Family Fitness. God, I just dated myself. Las Vegas Athletic Club. You know what I mean? Like you have everything you need there.
Yeah.
Right? But you're right. They are calling these big neighborhoods basically master plans, and they really truly aren't. That's a good point.
Now, there's one thing that I do want to bring up, and I think this is important. You just kind of talked about this. A lot of people that move out here, they always want to be like very close to like commute to like grocery stores. Vegas is one of those places, like no matter where you live, within 5 minutes you're at a grocery store or some sort of shopping center.
For the most part.
Yes. I'm going to say probably about 95% of the time.
Yeah.
Like wherever you go, there's a grocery store.
Yeah.
There's a gas station.
Yeah.
People think, right, that have never been here, you got to drive 20, 30 minutes to go to like a grocery store or a gas station. It ain't like that out here unless you go to Pahrump.
It's true. It's true. You're right about that. And that's the thing I hate about California.
Yeah.
Can't find gas station. Damn sure can't find a grocery store. And they're stuck in these little hidden away neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And they're on it's a mess. I was in San Diego a couple of months ago, and I'll be damned if I couldn't find a grocery store. Well, I did find one, but it was like, 25 minutes away from the hotel. It was annoying. So you're right. In that respect, we are lucky. We do have basically a 7-Eleven on every corner, and we have a grocery store within, a couple minutes, always.
Have you been out to Spanish Trail lately?
Of course.
I see like there's so much rehabbers going out there. Like that whole community is literally getting rehabbed and getting revamped. It's unbelievable.
Yep.
And these homes are like built in like the 80s.
I noticed in your commercial there, the one about the glass. That's 35 Princeville. I remember that house because we listed a home down the street, 15 Princeville. Both of those were flips.
Yeah.
And both of them sold. And you're
right. I can't believe Julian got that listing.
Oh, I got paid on that bad boy too.
Oh, you did?
You think I didn't?
Oh, good job. And Matt, if you're watching this video, I don't know why you didn't list it with me, bro.
He likes me better.
I know. Son of a bitch.
You're right. There's a ton of that going on. There's a ton of that going on. You're right.
But it is like the exterior of that neighborhood, it's very outdated.
For sure.
Would you agree?
Without a doubt.
Now the golf course and all that, it's beautiful, the clubhouse.
And that's the draw.
Yes.
And the gate.
And how close it is to town.
Yep.
And that's one thing I'm starting to notice now. Like the Las Vegas Strip, and I think it's really built very well. It's like literally in the center of town. Mm-hmm. So wherever you are at across the valley, you can't get lost because everything kind of crosses each other, right?
Right.
And you just look, okay, there's a strip. I'm not lost. I know where I'm going.
Yep.
And just head towards down the strip. But one thing I've noticed is like you have the strip, and a lot of clients always try to be close to the strip as possible. And I see like there's more value that's closer to the strip. And as you go out, it kind of disperses a little bit, right? As far as, I don't want to say value-wise, but I want to say more potential of consumers wanting to be closer to the strip. Does that make sense?
I don't think I agree with you.
Okay, please.
I think close to the strip is unless you're a strip, unless you plan on doing business on the strip and there's a reason why you have to be there. I think most people don't understand that us Las Vegans don't want to be near the strip. Nor do we go to the strip unless we have a specific reason for being there. Typically a visitor or an event or something like that. Unless you're talking about high-rise living, that's a different situation.
No, I think I'm coming more from a standpoint where I speak to my clients, right? And I'm gonna say like 99.9% of my clients are from out of state.
Yep.
They're like, I want to be close to the strip. Now, when I say be close to the strip, I'm not talking about like on the strip.
No,
I want to be within like 10, 15 minutes. Like they try to get as close as possible, but I always have a conversation with them. Like you just said, you know, you live here, you don't always go to the strip. Now, I live right off of Las Vegas Boulevard. I do cruise up and down the strip.
Do you?
Dude.
You live off Las Vegas Boulevard?
Yeah, right off Las Vegas Boulevard.
Wow, you like it down there?
I love it. That's my lifestyle, man.
Okay.
I live in a small little gated community with 132 homes. Has a pool. I never go to the pool anyway. But the community I live in is only about 1666 square feet, 4 bedrooms with the loft, just me and the wife, right?
Yep.
And I literally leave my house and I could literally walk to the strip within like 5 minutes. I'm on Las Vegas Boulevard.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And I'm right off the 215 and the 15.
Well, you know what? They're doing a lot. Talking about rehab,
Yeah.
there's some really nice estates there. I'll tell
It
you
is.
this much. I love old Las Vegas. I love Rancho Circle. I love Palo Verde or Palomino Estates.
How's about McNeil Estates?
I love McNeil.
That's dope.
Yes, dude. I love that stuff. And so for in that respect, yes, but that's a very specific buyer. That's not your everyday buyer at all.
Well, and if for me, right, it really comes down to my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Number one, I'm an entrepreneur. I sell real estate. I like to be in and out of the mix where I can jump on the 15 or
Close to the
215.
action.
Yeah, exactly. And because me and my wife, we probably eat out 5 nights a week, honestly. Like it's just me and her.
Yeah.
So it's really, it doesn't make any sense, right?
Yep.
To go out, buy groceries,
Yep.
come back, try to make it. It takes up too much time.
For sure.
So we are in a fortunate position. So thank you, God. I really do appreciate it because I'm sick of ramen noodles. I've been eating that shit for the past 20 years when I was young, dude.
Right.
Just barely making it.
Yep.
But we can literally go out, me and her, and have a nice dinner for less than like $70.
It's true. It's true. I don't have kids either, so I get where you're coming from.
And it just makes sense,
Yep.
right? Because it's just the lifestyle. But like I was saying, a lot of my clients are like, I want to live close to the strip. And I'm like, dude, wherever you live, it's not that far.
Right. It's
But
not.
that's
Freeway
just like-
access is the most important thing.
Yeah, you know, that's what's nice about it. If you look at the 215, it almost kind of goes all the way around in a circle.
Not kind of, it does. It's
Well-
exactly what it does.
Well, the problem is that you have the 15,
Right.
but then it kind of cuts there, but it doesn't go all the way around the east side of town.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But I mean, you can go, you know, from here, southwest to the west side, northwest to the north,
Yep.
until you hit the 15. But then you kind of like cut through.
As soon as you hit the speedway, now you got to.
Yeah, then after you jump back on the 95 and come back around, it's almost like a Pac-Man if you kind of look at it, right?
Yeah,
you kind of go around.
exactly. Yeah, it is.
But I don't think you need to go on that side anyway. It don't matter. I'm just kidding.
Listen, in my 20s, I spent a lot of time on the east side. Totally.
You know what's so funny? I have friends on the east side.
Yeah.
I hang out over there all the time.
Yeah. Over by UNLV is where we used to hang.
Oh, really?
I had a place over there with some roommates. Yeah.
I always go hang out. I got a buddy over there on Nellis.
Oh, on Nellis?
On Nellis,
Do you
too.
go there in the daytime only?
No, at nighttime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't go out there anymore,
Yeah.
but I used to go play like video games.
Right.
Smoke some weed. This is like 20 years ago, man. Hang
And
out.
by 20, you mean yesterday. But
No.
that's okay.
I can't do that anymore, man. I get too paranoid.
hear
I've
you.
got too much going on, man.
Yep.
Drive me crazy.
Got to stay sharp.
What else? As far as like benefits, like what are the benefits moving out here to Las Vegas?
It's funny. I just did a video about that.
Oh,
Tax structure, number one.
okay, we got that.
Cost of living, number two. Cultural things. You've got shows. You've got entertainment. You've got sports. We have professional sports. Insane. Number four. What was my number four?
Food.
Food. Yeah, food. Restaurants. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. What else? That's climate. I mean,
You don't think it's hot out here?
of course it's hot out here. I've been here 4
Shit's
years and I
hot.
still hate the heat, but I still love Las Vegas.
Yeah, you know what? Like, Las Vegas has more, pros and cons, right?
It does.
It really does. I'm gonna say probably like 85%, maybe even 90.
I got one.
Yeah.
It's adjacent. I think of Las Vegas as a hub city.
Yes.
You can get to
Good point.
Utah in a couple hours. You
Yeah.
can get to Cali in a couple hours. You can get to Arizona in a couple hours.
Bro, you could fly to China from Harry Reid International.
Oh, can you?
Yes.
Wow.
They actually have a flight that you could literally go straight there. This is kind of crazy to me.
It is. It is.
So, I mean, this is basically like the international hub right here.
It is. It is. And it
it's
makes the most sense, I think, than any other city on the West Coast. I really do. Not just saying that. I think that we have the best mix of everything.
Now, talking about heat, normally around this time, we should be breaking about 105, right?
We should, and I'm glad we're not because I wear suits every day. So I'm not mad at all. We can't all rock T-shirts, my man.
So how hot does it get out here in Las Vegas?
In the summer, it can get to 118. You know that.
Yeah.
I've been here years before where I'm wearing shorts at Christmas.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So June, July is like the hottest?
I would say July, August.
Okay.
Even September can be hot, man. September, you can be at 115. You can.
Really? So
yeah.
let's just say, to be on the safe side, I would say 3.5 months out of the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
How cold does it get out here in Las Vegas for the viewers?
30s. At its peak or its low 30s, and it's a very short period of time. And I know this because my fiance bought me this really nice overcoat. I've been wanting to wear that damn thing for a couple of years now, and I maybe get 1 or 2 days out of it.
Do you still fit it?
No, yeah, dude, I'm lean. What do you want? But no, there's just not enough cold days.
Yeah,
it's just not. It's which is why the climate works. Monsoon season, though, we do get rain for a couple of months. I love that. Typically around, what is it, April? Mm-hmm. Yeah, usually around April we'll get some rain going for a few weeks. But other than that, we don't have tornadoes. We don't have hurricanes.
Look at that. You're selling me.
The only thing we have is heat. That is it.
Yeah. Oh, another benefit here that people are not aware of, and I've noticed this. They're like, wow, you guys actually have snow where you guys can go skiing?
We do.
Yes.
The other thing, proximity to national areas like the Valley of Fire, like Zion National Park.
4 hours away. I just Googled it. I'm about to go out there. No, 2.5 hours. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my buddy Josh will literally go snowboarding in Lee Canyon and come back and finish his day.
That's crazy.
That's how close that kind of thing is. So people don't know that. They don't know you can hike, you can snowboard, you can ski. And I like how close it is to Utah. Myself personally, we like to fish. Me and my other half like to fish. So we'll go to Utah with my buddy, and they have a cabin up there. We used to rent before you got a cabin. So we'll go over there, we'll fish. It's nice and quiet. It's beautiful. It's 20 to 30 degrees less than what it is here in the summer. So you go up there, you're at 65, 70 degrees. Here it's 100 degrees, and it's like a 2-hour drive, 3-hour drive.
Talking about fishing, we used to take the 15, head out north in this place called, I think it's still in Nevada. I haven't gone out there for probably 10 years. It's called Eagle Valley.
Oh, yeah, Eagle Valley, yeah.
Yeah, they have this little camping area, fishing pond, and the weather up there is so gorgeous.
It is.
But, I mean, you are literally in friggin' country town.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I go out there, I stick out like a sore thumb, bro.
You think you stick out like a sore thumb?
Literally. I start feeling uncomfortable about myself. Like, I don't think I belong here. But anyway, one of my friends lured me to go out there. He's like, dude, let's go fishing out there. Right? Because I used to love to
During
fish.
The summer?
I would say probably during the summer.
Okay.
I forget when.
Because I've ice fished out there before. They have ice fishing out there.
Actually, no, I never did the ice fishing. Fishing. However, I did rent a cabin out there, which is kind of nice too as well. But anyway, my friend was like, dude, let's go. We're going to go. I'm like, dude, I don't want to go out there. Like, we're sitting at sunset and, the park, and we're not catching shit. Right? So he's like, dude, there's a ton of trout. Like, they always release trout.
Right.
So he finally drugged me, and I was like, all right, let's just go. And I remember, okay, honest to God truth, man. The first cast I threw, right, I hooked a trout on the back of its neck, bro.
Oh, yeah.
And I was so hooked, we were literally catching fish like every 10 minutes. Like, it was just fun.
It's fun when it's happening.
Yes.
But when it's not, man.
Yeah, you just sit and dry.
You just get pissed.
But that's a part of it, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're hanging out with friends, you're just having a good time.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's very relaxing.
Yep.
Matter of fact, you know what? I need to make a plan to go out there because that's one thing about Vegas. It's like you come out here, everything's such a go, go, go. Mm-hmm. But you can literally get out of town.
So fast.
Like, so fast. I mean, sometimes I want to take a break. I just drive out to Boulder, which is 30, 45 minutes from my house.
Walk around.
Yeah, it's a whole different environment.
Yeah. They got car shows out there and art shows and that kind of thing. You got to go to Penguich, man, if you haven't been.
No, I'll have to check that out.
So it's maybe 3 hours away. So you get to Cedar City. You take a turn and you go up the mountain.
Yeah.
And cabins there. We used to rent cabins, $400, $500 for 3 days.
Yeah.
You bring your own food, full kitchen. It's beautiful. And you can work there if you have to. If you bring your laptop, if you got work you got to do or whatever. But it's such a good decompression thing to kind of, sometimes you need a break. I mean, we work all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, we never, even when I'm not working, I'm working. This is always going. You know
yeah,
what
of
I mean?
course. You're an entrepreneur.
Yeah. So, it's a good thing. It takes me usually a day to stop doing that. But it's funny, though. The minute I get there, I get calls every single time.
Oh, we got a super chat. Thank you so much, Tim, for the $2. Great guess, somebody just says.
Nice.
So there's actually a lot of comments. Now, actually, we're running over too much. Yeah, like 12 minutes. This is actually
super interesting.
I know. This is such a great conversation. Now, I just want to share one more benefit about moving to Las Vegas. When you're bored, right? We talked about this, places that you can go and travel to.
Yep.
I just went to Laughlin the other day.
Yeah.
I was literally like, babe, we're doing the same shit. You know what? Let's go to Laughlin.
Laughlin's hot as hell, though.
Well, no, when I was out there, wasn't. This was 2 weeks ago.
I ride Harley, so I used to go out there for the river run every
Oh,
year.
you ride a Harley?
Oh, yeah. I've been riding for 20 years. Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yep.
Bro, you better be careful. That's one thing about Vegas, man. I always feel like people always get hit.
That's how I got into real estate. I got hit on my bike. I'm not kidding.
Really?
I got hit on my bike.
Oh, my gosh.
Daryl's wife called me up and said,
Yeah.
while you're healing, why don't you go to real estate school? And I did. That's how I got here.
That is very fascinating.
That's the truth. I still ride, though.
Well, for some of you guys don't know, Daryl Hannah was actually my mentor. And I don't know if you know this. I'm sure he told you, though. He actually sold me my first house.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
You didn't? Oh, really?
No.
Oh, I got to tell you this story. I'm sure you guys already heard this story, but I want to tell my buddy here now. So, I met up with him through another agent, right? I called this real estate company, and I was like, hey, I'm interested in buying a home. I'm approved. And she just passed me along. I was like, what the hell? I'm trying to buy a house.
Right.
So she sent me over to Daryl. And then I got connected with Josh Nieves,
Yeah.
right, to buy a house. And, Daryl was showing me around, and, we went under contract on a home, and I was telling him, hey, man, I want to get into, like, real estate investing, but I was thinking about becoming an appraiser.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, when I'm investing, on properties, I know how to appraise the property.
Understand value, right?
Yes. And he goes, nah, you don't want to do that shit. You need to become a real estate agent. And I was like, wait, I think that makes sense because I can learn how to write up the contracts. I can find a deal. I got the MLS.
A BPO is just an appraisal.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, dude, I'm so stupid. All right. I went to go get my real estate license.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, look, get your real estate license. You hang your license with us, and I'll show you the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
And, dude, that was the best thing I ever did, bro.
Nice. He did tell me that part. I didn't know he sold you a house, though.
Yeah, he actually sold me. The damn house that he sold me is the house that I still live in till today. Yes.
For real?
Damn, for real.
I love it. I love that. I love it.
And
That's amazing.
I'm not going to move. And the reason why.
Would you? It's paid for.
Well, no. The primary home that I live in is not paid for.
Okay.
Another property that I bought that was, I rehabbed.
Oh, the rehab.
That pays for the mortgage here.
Gotcha.
And my mortgage was like only like $930 a month.
Wow.
Dude, I can't go anywhere. I'm stuck.
Right.
Now, I mean, I could sell the home and make a large profit, but what am I
would
going
you?
Yeah, why would I?
It's just you and your wife. You like it down there.
Yes.
Why would you leave?
And it's people that are like, how come you don't buy like a custom home? Because I don't want to be house broke.
Right.
And that's a good point that you made about being house broke, right?
Yep.
Talk about house broke. What's a percentage would you recommend that a buyer should spend on a monthly mortgage? Like percentage wise? 20% of their income? 30%? Or just max that shit out? Who cares?
No. I mean, people are comfortable. Here's the thing. Pressure usually breeds action.
Yeah.
So, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever makes sense for you and your family. Your family, it's just you and your wife.
Yeah.
So your ability to take on risk is greater than the guy's got 3 kids, right?
Yeah.
So you want to keep some in the bank just in case. I never push people to buy more house than they want because it's at the end of the day, they've got to live with that note. And I want them to come back, quite frankly. All the time I get people saying, well, this guy tried to upsell me. That guy tried to upsell me. whatever you are comfortable with is exactly where you should be. Because here's the thing, you're not going to get approved for anything you can't afford.
Yeah.
The bank's not going to take that
It's
risk.
just, do you want it?
Right. It's just, do you want it, and what kind of life do you live? Are you the kind of guy that's out at the club all the time? Or are you, do you like to buy, do you have a hobby that's expensive? Do you need that extra, you know what I mean? It just depends.
Now, one thing I've noticed from my experience been doing this for so long, people tend to max out what they are approved for.
Always.
And that's fascinating to me because they first start off with, let's just say $500,000, but they're not ready for that $500,000 payment, right? Based upon their debt to income ratio, their current interest rate. So now we start looking at homes at $450,000 because it makes sense for them. But I think where they start to go up in the price is because, believe it or not, $450,000 to $500,000 are two completely different homes.
Right.
And this is where the consumer will always ask themselves, and I always ask them too as well, is that you can get this for $450,000, doesn't really have what you want, but then if you go up $30,000 more, now you can see the home completely changes dramatically. Is it worth to pay that $75 more, $100 more?
Right. I was just going to say the difference in payment that was so minimal.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it makes sense and sometimes it quite frankly doesn't. But I'll say this, perfect example, at least from my perspective, when I first started selling, I had this old beat up truck. And I used to park it down the street. I didn't want anybody to see what I drove. But I go on my list.
Did you really?
It was real, bro.
Hey, I did the same shit.
No
I did the same
AC.
shit.
No AC. I'd have a roll of paper towels.
Yeah.
I'd have to like towel down before I go in.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I go to buy my first car. It was this Volkswagen CC.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like I could afford it. And then my credit was horrible. My interest rate was like 22%.
Oh,
like
22%.
22%, because my credit was so ridiculous.
Dude, you just sold your life to the devil.
But guess what?
Yeah.
You know what happened when I did get in that car? I sold more deals.
Yeah, and you made more money
And
because you were forced to.
Exactly, because I felt better.
Yeah.
I felt better, and I knew it's what I wanted, and so as a result, I acted differently, and I just went after it. So I think in that same respect, if you want the house, buy the house. If the lender can get you the deal, get it. Do your thing. Do what you're going to do, but understand it's a responsibility that you've got to make sure that you can do the thing.
You make a good point. I remember when I got my BMW, right? It was like $170,000. It was like a 7 Series. This thing was gorgeous, matte black, had all the bells and the whistles, and the thing was like $78,000 because I leased it, and with the lease I just paid for the full amount.
Yeah.
And I remember. I was like, you know what? My clientele is getting higher on the price point. So, and when I bought it, I drove this thing. I felt really good.
Yep. That
confidence level.
Yep. Upped your game.
Up my game. And believe it or not, okay, for a lot of you real estate agents out there, okay, even though how jaded this industry is, I'm going to tell you, people actually look at you. They see how you dress. Yep. See how you act. Yep. What kind of car you drive, and they dictate if you are successful or not.
That's true. It's true, and it sucks that it's that way, but it is.
Yeah.
That's the reality. And I would say this. You don't have to sell your soul. You don't have to put yourself in a really bad situation, but you do have to stretch.
Yeah.
You've got to stretch yourself because that's what's going to make you better. You can't be comfortable. Comfort will kill you.
Yeah.
You become complacent. You have to always keep moving forward, even if it's an inch. You got to keep moving forward.
Now, you know what? We've gone way over time, like 20 minutes. Like,
oh, shoot.
Out of all the shows that I've done, I've always cut it on time. But I had such a great conversation with you. Like, we literally just met, and I feel like I know you.
Right.
Like, we're on the same level here.
Yes,
so,
sir.
I actually really had a great time. So, I do want to say thank you for coming up on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, is there any type of plugs, anything? Say it right now.
Follow me on IG at _Courtney Beauford. That's COURTNEY BEAUFORD. And my YouTube channel is Courtney Sells Las Vegas. And thanks for having me.
Also, if you guys want to purchase a home, I will have a link of his contact information. So check him out. He also sells homes too as well. And don't forget to subscribe to his channel. And also, if you guys have not had a chance to subscribe to my channel, subscribe to the channel. I'm not playing with you guys, okay? Because 65% of you guys, males, watch the channel like crazy, but never subscribe to the channel. All right, guys, until next time,
next week, Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I really do appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.